November 16th, Shakur Stevenson will be taking on Edwin De Los Santos for the vacant WBC Lightweight World Championship. Why is it on a Thursday? I don't know. I can't tell you. But of course, this is coming off of Shakur not being able to fight Isaac Cruz and Frank Martin, who were asked to fight him first, and they both declined. For what reasons? We may never know. Because both were like, oh, no, they didn't duck Shakur. They were going to fight Tank Davis next or something like that. But whatever, right? But of course, not only is it Shakur versus De Los Santos, on the undercard, Emmanuel Navarrete will be taking on the gold medal Olympian. So that will be a very interesting matchup. And matter of fact, let's talk about that first. Of course, Navarrete will be fighting Robson Conceição. Unfortunately, I don't know how to pronounce that, but he is a Brazilian gold medalist with a record of 17-2 with 8 knockouts, and none of his defeats coming by way of knockouts. So that's good. Unfortunately, he is coming off of a loss to Shakur Stevenson in September 2022, and coming off of a no contest against Nicholas Polanco of June of this year. So, doesn't say a lot. And his other defeat, that being to, of course, Oscar Valdez. Basically the tippy top of the super featherweight division. Both unanimous decision losses. And of course, he will be facing the WBO super featherweight world champion, Emmanuel Navarrete, who is 38-1 with 31 knockouts, coming off of his unanimous decision win over Oscar Valdez in a very, very entertaining matchup. Navarrete has shown that he does have a chin in the division, so that's very nice of him. That's very good. Now, how do I think he's going to win? Considering he already lost to the tippy top of the super featherweight division, and he's fighting another person on the tippy top of the super featherweight division, and against such a awkward puncher like Emmanuel Navarrete, I don't think he sees the 12th round. Navarrete be punching a lot like boom, 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 boom. He just don't stop all 12 rounds. Of course, look at the eyes of his opponents. I did not see that before, but look at the people after fighting him. They do not look like they could get a picture taken. I'm just saying. But of course, it is going to be a very interesting matchup. Of course, because a gold medalist is a gold medalist. Don't get me wrong. He's an Olympian. He is definitely going to make it a very tough competitive competition up until the 6th round. I do think it's somewhat competitive. I do think Navarrete will win a couple more rounds, but after the 6th round, I think he's just gonna get picked apart, taken out in the 10th. Yeah, I think he gets stopped in the 10th round in a very, very nice match. But of course, I do think Navarrete will retain his WBO belt, and what he does next, I don't know. He might try to unify, he might move up. It depends. But of course, I do got Navarrete winning via 10th round stoppage. I do think his awkward style and his power, right? Obviously, he doesn't have that one punch knockout power, but he does have the I'm gonna batter you for like 6 rounds, and after that, you won't even be able to like walk type stuff. Like he just punches you into submission type stoppage power, right? And of course, the main event is Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin De Los Santos. And of course, De Los Santos was a somewhat unknown fighter. I mean, I don't say still is, but he has definitely gotten a lot more coverage after his recent wins over Jose Valenzuela and Joseph Adorno, And of course, he stopped Valenzuela in the 3rd round. At the point, Valenzuela was undefeated. And then he later on beat Joseph Adorno via unanimous decision over 10 rounds. And of course, De Los Santos has a record of 16-1 with 14 knockouts. That's right, he is a very, very powerful puncher with a knockout percentage of 87.5. God damn it, let me talk about his power. His power is, concussive or something. Because literally, in the fight with Valenzuela, it looked like Valenzuela was just going to do what he was going to do. He was going to beat up De Los Santos and get the stoppage victory. All De Los Santos really needed to land was a jab. He landed a jab and the course of the fight completely changed. Like literally, you watch the replays, and I don't know if they released the full fight yet, but watch the whole fight. It's like, oh, Valenzuela was winning. Boop, one jab, and then he just, he couldn't recover because Del Santos just kept hitting him, right? And of course, De Los Santos is a good body puncher as well. He ripped Valenzuela's body. Like, God damn, you look at the punches and you think, oh, I'm starting to feel it myself. What the hell? And of course, that was an impressive win. And then he beat the much more accomplished, the much more, how do I say, better name is that Joseph Adorno. Because Jose Valenzuela was undefeated. But it was most like, oh, he still wasn't proven yet. Adorno has been proven. And even though he kind of lost twice to Michel Rivera and Elvis Rodriguez. But those are two good names. Okay, one got dominated in his last fight. And the other one looking like he's starting to move up. And of course, Adorno fought him at 140. And he moved back down to fight De Los Santos. And of course, De Los Santos dominated all 10 rounds. I don't even know. Like, literally, the official scorecards, only one judge gave him a round. And it was for good reason. De Los Santos has such concussive power. I don't know how to say this, but De Los Santos, when people say, oh, all you need is a punch, they quite literally mean it for De Los Santos. De Los Santos lands one jab, and it's like, you look at the face of the person, that the punch landed on, you think, damn, these people look scared as hell. And of course you'd be scared. You get hit with that type of punch, and it's basically already making you drunk, right? And of course he did win unanimous decision, but I think the commentators also figured it out, that he did it to prove that his main weakness wasn't really there anymore. He fixed it. And what was the weakness? Well, of course, it was his gas tank. As when he fought Jose Valenzuela, they brought up the fact his one and only loss being William Foster III. He lost via split decision. And that's because they were saying that he punched himself out around like the midway point of the fight. And of course, well, when you're tired as hell, you can't really throw as much punches. And of course, he lost via split decision. And of course, how do you prove that your gas tank is there? Go 10 rounds with a tough, rugged fighter and control the pace of the fight throughout the entire fight. That's one way of proving that your gas tank is good. You fixed it. But of course, he has never been the full 12-round distance for the sole fact that he's only fought in 10-round fights. But of course, when you look at his record, it doesn't look half bad. He started fighting undefeated, accomplished fighters. His last 4 fights, he's been fighting good fighters. And of course, like I said, he is the third option for Shakur. Shakur obviously reached out to Pitbull and Frank Martin first, but of course they declined. But of course, Shakur Stevenson, let's talk about him. He is 20-0 with 10 knockouts, coming off of a TKO win over Shuichiro Yoshino, 6th round stoppage. And of course, that is because, he's in the same class as Richardson Hitchens. He's basically, it's Rolly, basically. Rolando Romero, basically, described perfectly. These people have power. They just decide not to use it. And that's why they're the most boring fighters to ever watch. And that's why they're fighting on a Thursday. Because Shakur can't sell. Even though he has all these followers. Ain't nobody buying tickets. I ain't wasting my time. I ain't buying nothing. And they even put Edwin Navarrete, one of the most exciting fighters, in boxing right now, as the co-main to try to sell it on a Thursday. Why a Thursday and not a Friday? I don't know. But it does make a very good lineup. But of course, Shakur, like I said, also fought Robson Consejo, or I think that's how you pronounce his name, and Oscar Valdez to unify the super featherweight world title, and then missed weight, won, and then moved up. Why did he do that? I have no idea. But of course, who do I think is going to win? To be honest, I have a gut feeling that De Los Santos will pull it off. Because De Los Santos not only is super strong, needing only really much a jab to knock you out, but he also is a southpaw, which most fighters, even other southpaws, have trouble fighting. He got great body work. He does not forget the body. You leave your body open. Like, he can see a tiny opening where his fist can get in. He's going to throw the punch. But not only that, although he doesn't have too much movements or too much angles, he has enough. Although Shakur is an amazing fighter, I think he's a silver medalist, silver Olympian. I do think that's a very good thing. And he's very hard to hit. Even when he fought another Olympian in Oscar Valdez, Valdez struggled and got dominated in the fight. But I do think maybe, just maybe, De Los Santos gets it done. Is he as good as Shakur? No. But I do think he is good enough to land himself the lucky punch that he needs to change the course of the fight. Like I said, all he needs is a jab. Shakur needs to be on his toes round 1 to at least round 8, picking De Los Santos apart. Because throughout all 8 rounds, all De Los Santos needs is one clean punch. to change the course of the fight. But then again, let's be honest. Let's be a little bit realistic. If someone gave me $100 and say bet on someone, I'm betting on Shakur. I'm betting on Shakur. Shakur, of course, on paper should win. He's one of the most highly doubted fighters, right now. He's considered to be the next pound for pound king, and he could be. But of course, he does have to get through other fighters like Tank, Haney, Teofimo, Hitchens. Although Hitchens is a little less doubted, a little less, praised. He's definitely another elite fighter. So, Shakur got his work cut out for him. But I do think Shakur gets it done unanimous decision. But I will be cheering on De Los Santos for the 9th round stoppage upset. Why? Because like I said, De Los Santos can move. He can hit the body. He has a great jab. And like I said, he's not good. He's not better than Shakur Stevenson. But he is good enough. Because when you have that much power, you don't even need to be better than your opponent in skill-wise. Because you just need to land that punch. But of course, I do think Shakur might know this. And then again, Shakur might also be overlooking De Los Santos. For the fact that De Los Santos is his third option. He was supposed to fight Pitbull and then Frank Martin. But both declined. And of course, De Los Santos, some relatively unknown guy who fought, I don't want to say small halls, but, openers to pay-per-views. Or not pay-per-view. I don't think De Los Santos versus Adorno was pay-per-view. But I don't think he's truly underestimating De Los Santos. But I think De Los Santos will prove himself as an elite fighter that deserves elite competition from here on out. Because I do think De Los Santos is at the upper echelons of the lightweight division. Maybe not enough to beat Shakur Stevenson, but definitely enough to rule the division once he leaves. And also Devin Haney. But like I said, realistically, to be honest, I got Shakur the unanimous decision. But I'm kind of rooting for De Los Santos' 9th round stoppage, to be honest. Just a little bit. I'm just rooting a little bit, But of course, like I said, hope you enjoyed this video. Navarrete will stop the gold medal Olympian in the 10th round in a thriller of a fight. And I do think De Los Santos will most likely get outclassed in this fight. But I do think Shakur will be hurt and will look very vulnerable in the fight. So, like I said, those are my picks. If I were to tell you to bet money on, I would be a bad friend to tell you to bet on De Los Santos. But I'm kind of rooting for De Los Santos. But anyways, next video will, of course, be the Misfits 11, Jarvis versus Badave. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.